Alabama has put practice 4 in the books under Kalen DeBoer, and we're going to talk about how that looked. A couple of players that have stuck out, including one true freshman fighting for a spot in the secondary, and one guy that transferred and blamed his issues on Alabama's quarterback. And we're finding out maybe you just suck at snapping the football. Yeah, we're going to talk about all that right here on the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel. Like and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. Roll Tide, everybody. Let's get this party started on a Monday, and hopefully all of you guys are off to work and you're ready to go. Maybe some of you are on vacation. Whatever it is, roll Tide. What do you say, everybody? There he is, big, sexy Elmo on a Monday. I'm Mick Gillespie at Broadcaster Mick at Brett Elmore Show, and it is great to see all of you guys. And Brett, right out of the chute, let's talk about practice number 4 for Alabama in Tuscaloosa, a Sunday morning, kind of broke into different things, but you're starting to get the feel of what this team looks like. We're going to hear from Kalen DeBoer in a second, but it's exciting, man. I really like the tone that Kalen DeBoer has as head coach.
Yeah, I do too. And watching his pressers after practice, he's a likable guy. You know, he really is. And they spent 2 hours in shells yesterday. 4th of 25 workouts I think they get as they gear up for the home opener with Western Kentucky. Which, by the way, I saw, and they may all be gone by now, but there was some tickets sent back from Western Kentucky for the game. So if you want some tickets, they may be still available at RollTide.com.
Ducats. Get you ducats.
That's right. So anyway, they worked out yesterday in the heat, in the shells for a couple hours, and then another productive practice.
All right, let's hear him talk about Zabien Brown, Alabama secondary, obviously with a lot of opportunities because of transfers and, and everything else. And, you figure, look, you transfer in Damani Jackson, you got to figure is going to be a starter, transferred from USC, former 5-star, almost went to Alabama in the first place and came in. But is there a spot? I think there is. And if Zabien Brown, who's a 5-star himself, can do the things that they need to do, maybe he gets a spot. Here's what Kalen DeBoer had to say about him.
Yeah, he just slowed up here a couple of days, but he'll be back fine middle of next week for sure. But he's out there practicing still too, getting some reps in. But he just doesn't feel like a freshman out there. He does not. And we felt that way this spring, and he just followed that up with another big jump like you really would expect. And he's just out there, and I don't think of him as young or anything like that. I think of him as a guy that's just fitting right into the defense, and I'm proud of the way he just approaches it. He doesn't take anything for granted. He works his tail off. He's up there with Coach Mo nonstop, and he's just a fun guy to have around each and every day. In the program. So I got a lot of trust in him already.
I love that. I love that. I love the fact that he's like, hey, I got a lot of trust in this guy already. Talking about Zabien Brown. And this is a position that has been a concern to me. And I know some of you guys get on to me in the message, on the message board and like, hey, man, you shouldn't be worried. Look, I'm worried. I worry. I've been an Alabama fan since Gene Stallings. Okay. That's when I was at school at Alabama. And I worry about everything. So if you got a bunch of guys rolling out on us like they did last year, I'm worried about that group. But I love to hear him say the things that he said about Zabien Brown, because if you can get Zabien Brown and Kalen Mbakwe as contributors early on this team, it's only going to make them better.
Yeah, Brown, he was seen yesterday with a small cast on his wrist and hand. But just a minor injury, and it'll only slow him down for a couple of days. But Yeah, he has a lot of trust in the guy already, is what he said. But it looks to me like he has a pretty solid chance of making being the starter against Western Kentucky from the way things are going. It's still early. I mean, we're only 4 practices in. They talked about we talked about that secondary. They're talking about Sab and Devontae Smith joining Malachi Moore, in the secondary, and being Sab being described as a very special talent. I mean, that's what Coach was talking about yesterday or day before. I think it's day before in his press conference. But anyway. And Devontae's 100% probably for the first time in his career at Alabama, so
healthy.
Yeah, he's healthy. So encouraging signs there,
Yeah, no, I'm with you, man. This is another guy working with the first team for, on Sunday. He's going to be a first team player, Kaden Proctor. He didn't come back. He didn't transfer back. Made a mistake going to Iowa for a second, but he came back to Tuscaloosa. This guy's a first-team player, and no doubt in my mind that he's going to be part of starting on this offensive line class that I really feel like is going to make a huge difference in the SEC this year. I think that these guys could be the best.
Yeah, and a lot of folks are talking about how it looks like he's improved a lot.
Well, you knew that was going to happen, man. I mean,
right.
But he took his lumps last year.
Yeah, he did, and he spent yesterday practicing at left tackle. But they're moving those guys around and getting them experience at every. From what I understand, they're getting them experience at every position, which is a good thing. But yeah, he's still working with that first offensive team unit, and I think he'll be another starter that's back. And, because we lost our center, he transferred out.
I know you're going to talk about that in a second. Look, before we get there, what DeBoer said was we're rotating guys. They haven't really figured out all the reps, but they're rotating, especially at tackle. They got 3 interior guys that they're pretty consistent with, including Pritchard, Formby, and Proctor. And basically said that, they're going to put them in, different situations. They're going to drill them, and hopefully all those guys will continue to get better. And there's also a part of chemistry in the unit, but I really believe that Proctor's going to be a starter. I just do. Yeah. I mean, he started last year. They kept calling him like Kobe Bryant. Remember when he was getting beat? They're like, hey man, Kobe Bryant started out slow. This guy has the potential of being a absolute superstar. And I love the fact that he left and he came back, because he can tell those guys that are thinking about taking, maybe a little more NIL money to go somewhere else. Stick where you're at, man. You're at Alabama. Sure. You'll make the money back in the long run, but you're not going to have a better experience than you will in Tuscaloosa.
No. The cafeteria food was probably a whole lot better at Alabama.
Well, you wanted to talk about Seth McGlaughlin, and I want to lay it out like this. McGlaughlin was Alabama's center, and he sucked. All right, Brett.
Ohio State's fall camp notes. Immediately, he snaps the damn ball over the quarterback's head.
Man, I'm so sick of hearing about they were blaming that on Milroe and everything else. We knew Saban was probably going to retire just because he let that guy snap the ball like crap for an entire season. Get him out of my face, man. I'm so sick of this guy.
Right. Yeah. First thing he does, snaps the ball over the quarterback's head.
I mean, it was constant. He's just not a good snapper. He's probably a good offensive lineman. He probably does everything else really well. But snapping the ball is part of your job when you're the snapper.
Yeah, maybe he needs to try a different sport. I've been watching a lot of these Olympic games, and I'm thinking,
you're watching the Olympics?
Yeah, I've been watching. I watched handball Saturday night. That's how bored I was. I was thinking to myself, here I am watching handball. Yeah. Well,
you know what? The Olympics are the day where all those sports that we never watched get like they get main billing. right?
Right.
Like we're like, oh, you know what? Handball, water polo. We're finally going to give them the big stage that they deserve. Guys, I want to tell you before Brett takes over, or before he bails out of this video right here. There he goes. Bye, Brett. That right now you can buy this calendar. This is the 2025 Crimson and White calendar at newlifeart.com. And if you buy this calendar and you use the promo code Bama Tailgate, Daniel Moore signs it for you right there on the side. See where it's signed on the side? It's a great promotion, and we're running it for this week. This is the last week we're running this. If you guys want the calendar, get it autographed, because then it becomes a collector's edition. It becomes collectors. I've got one myself. I love this. I think this is really for guys like me that love the autograph stuff. This is a really fantastic deal, and you can get it for yourself right now. newlifeart.com, promo code Bama Tailgate. I also want to tell you this, that the show is proudly presented by newlifeart.com. We just talked about them, and also Pearl River Resort. And if you go to Pearl River Resort right now, you can play Dancing Rabbit. That's the Augusta that you can play. Go to the sports book, put $50 down. For $40 more, you can go over to the golf course. Don't have to have a membership. You can play Dancing Rabbit for $40. Yeah, take advantage of that. Put all your money on Bama basketball to cut the nets down and win a national championship. I think it's going to happen this year. But whatever you want to do, go over there. It doesn't matter if you win, just put the 50 down, and then you can play Dancing Rabbit for $40. And the clubhouse is fantastic. The breakfast over there is sensational. Also, table games and slots at Silver Star and Golden Moon Casino. Rodney Carrington is going to be there here in the next week. And then the other thing, too, for you guys to think about is the water park, Geyser Falls, which is awesome. And they've also got a spa as well. So find out for yourself. New, fantastic place for you guys to go hang out, Pearl River Resort. And now is the time to do it, especially at the water park, because it's so hot out there. So anyway, we'll have a new promotion coming up for New Life Art here in the next couple of weeks. But as football approaches, you're going to want to get over there and take advantage of really what is a fantastic deal, playing golf at a great golf course for only $40, and you don't have to have a membership. All right, when we come back from this quick break, Brett Elmore takes over, and he's going to tell us what's going on in the world.
To Pearl River Resort. They call him Big Sexy, coming at you from the Walker County. Jasper is his hometown. He's known for giving free rundowns. Oh, Big Sexy, throwing out those Alabama thoughts, sneaking out your mom's window without getting caught. Nick gives you the XP, but Big Elmo is here to please. Big Sexy Elmo on the Bama Tailgate Show.
Oh, yes, indeed.
That's your song.
That's my song. And song is the fifth. And let's take a look at what is going on today as far as birthdays are concerned. Actor Lonnie Anderson, 79 today.
Yeah, what was Lonnie Anderson famous for? Like, what was she famous for? She was married to somebody famous, right?
Yeah, she was married to somebody famous, and then she, let's see, she was in, a couple of movies or TV shows. What was Lonnie Anderson in? It was a show back in the 70s, I think. But anyway, I can't think of it.
All right, hold on. Now I'm challenged. Challenged.
Yeah, I know. I knew you was probably goggling it.
Goggling. I know she was married to like somebody famous.
Was she married to Burt Reynolds?
Yes, she was married to Burt Reynolds. That's it.
Okay. All right, so I got that right. Was she in Dynasty?
Career. She was in SWAT, Phyllis, Police Women, Harry O. Three's Company. She was in Three's Company.
Okay, all right. She's in Three's Company. Okay. So anyway, yeah, she's celebrating a birthday today. Let's see who else is celebrating today. Singer Rick Derringer is 77.
Man, I thought you were going to say Rick who?
Rick Springfield?
No, Rick James. Rick James.
Rick James. No, Rick Derringer. You know, rock and roll hoochie coo.
Oh, yeah.
Rock and roll hoochie coo.
Yeah, I remember him. I do remember him. I can't tell you that like I had any Rick Derringer albums or anything like that, but I do remember. I remember Rock and Roll Coochie Coo.
Yeah. Excuse me. Maureen McCormick is 68 today. She was on the Brady Bunch.
Yeah, like I love the Brady Bunch. I mean, I wasn't really alive when new Brady Bunches were out, but it was like on rerun back when I watched it.
Yeah, me too. And guitarist Pat Smear of the Foo Fighters, 65 today.
I didn't never heard of him before, but I do love the Foo Fighters. I love the fact that when Kurt Cobain committed suicide, that Dave Grohl never gave up. You know what I mean? Like we have a tandem going right here, Brett. And if something happened to me, I would expect you to go on to a great career of broadcasting without me. Like you would take the Tailgate show and you would run with the Tailgate show. That's what Dave Grohl did. Like, even though it wasn't Nirvana, it was his band and he took and ran with it. And I mean, they have a bunch of great songs.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And if something was to happen to me, you just keep doing what you're doing and everything would be fine.
No, I couldn't do it without you. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Come on,
man. Like look at us. We're like Cheech and Chong. We're the Cheech and Chong of Alabama football.
Well, I don't know if that comparison holds true. I don't know.
Do you know who Cheech and Chong are?
Yeah, I definitely know who.
You've heard of them?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've heard of them a time or two.
Up in Smoke.
Yes. I will still stop and watch a Cheech and Chong movie if it's on TV.
The funny thing is that you have painted me out to be, because you made a point to tell everybody that I might have smoked weed with Willie Nelson, and then you asked me if I would smoke weed with Snoop Dogg. So you're going to ask me if I would hang out and smoke weed with Cheech and Chong?
Well, first of all, I know the answer to the question. I don't like asking questions that I know the answer to.
People are going to be mad at me. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
No. And I forgot until you just brought this up that you may have. It's a vicious rumor. May have smoked a joint with Willie Nelson. Which
back when I was in college at Alabama, by the way. College.
This is years ago.
Years ago.
Back, you know how those college kids are.
I'm just a college kid.
Yeah, he was a college kid living life and smoking dope with Willie Nelson. This guy, what?
And, look at this guy. Look at this guy.
Look at this guy. Like,
all right.
The herbal American. Today, if you're looking for something to celebrate, today is National IPA Day.
Oh, dude, this is a day for me to celebrate. I love IPAs. I'm going to have to go to somewhere where I can get an IPA. You know that later on today, I'm going to be filling in on the next round, which is kind of nerve-wracking. I don't want to mess up the show, but with LT and Dunaway out, like it's like a big step down for me. So with me, not for me, but with me. Big step down for their show having me. But so maybe afterwards I'll have an IPA. But they have a kegerator in there, so maybe it'll be during the show if things don't go well. Just drink, bro.
You'll probably need a drink after doing that show.
Like an hour in, I'll be like, man, I'm used to doing 30 minutes.
Yeah. That's a hard thing to do when you haven't been doing it every day.
Oh man, I'm telling you.
But yeah, I mean, it's like three days that you can celebrate today. It's also National Oyster Day.
Oh, dude, I love oysters, man.
I know.
You know I do. The first off, the thing I want to know is who's the first guy that was like, man, I'm going to eat an oyster. You know, like who's like, this is a great idea. They look like they're terrible. They look like rocks. And then you split them open, and then it looks like a slimy booger or something. But you eat it, and if you put like a little bit of horseradish on there and some hot sauce, on a cracker, it's the best thing ever. There are some, and I say this because I sat next to a food. You know this. I think I've told you this before. I sat next to like one of these guys that does like food inspections on a plane ride one time. And I said, what's the thing that he would go and they would do like SWAT missions on restaurants, right? And be like, hey, you know, and I said, what's the thing that's the worst, you know, for you guys? And he's like, you don't want to know. And I'm like, no, I do want to know. And he was like, oysters. So I've gone to like the, you know, give me the charred ones, man. Let's cook these things. Let's kill the bacteria that might kill me.
Right. Yeah.
Put a little cheese on it. We'll put some butter on there, some garlic, you know, whatever.
Oyster Rockefeller, is that what's
I like them, man. I like them. I like them all. Yeah,
I don't know who the first guy was to.
Who came up with that?
Yeah, I mean, there had to be someone somewhere that was starving, and they're like on their like
I'm so hungry.
I'm so hungry. I can't eat
anything.
Look at this rock. It's got slime in it. Oh,
I figured it was probably somebody that saw like one of those like seals or something like go down, and then they, you know, because they'll eat them, you know, and they're probably like banging it. It's like, what is that seal eating over there? Oh, it's whatever that is. Let's try that.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's delicious.
It's delicious. Today is also National Underwear Day.
Man, National Underwear Day is so important. I know a lot of people that are watching free ball, but you shouldn't. You should wear good quality underwear that are breathable.
And also,
you're not going to comment?
I'm just
I'm joking. I don't care what.
I just report the news here.
Are you a
broadcast professional?
Okay, I'm not going to ask you if you roll whitey tighties or briefs.
No. It's definitely the boxer briefs.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Me too.
You just want to know what kind of underwear I wear.
No, I don't. I don't. I do not.
You're a sicko.
I might be a sicko, but I don't want to know that.
I'm just wondering why. Well, I was wondering why someone snuck in my room in Vegas, went through my underwear drawer.
That was someone from the front desk looking for your cash.
So, yeah.
Looking for all that cash you won.
Right. This day in history, 1957. American Bandstand made its network debut on ABC. Of course, the show was hosted by Dick Clark. 1962, sad day, kind of crazy day. Marilyn Monroe, 36 years old, found dead in the bedroom of her LA home. Her death is ruled a probable suicide caused by an overdose of sleeping pills, a.k.a. the government has killed you.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. First off, talking about Dick, what a great name. You know, I'm Mick, but I honestly, man, I kind of wish my name was Dick. I mean, that's a memorable name in, you know, in any business. Like if you're like, hey, man, I'm Dick, you put your hand out, like they're going to remember you.
Oh, absolutely.
And
you've been called that quite a few times, but it was
in the comments section.
Yeah, the comment section.
You know what's great about Marilyn Monroe is that John Elton sung a song about her, and she might be. I mean, she really, even to this day, might be is that word hottest? I don't even know. Like the most iconic.
Yeah.
Iconic women. Yeah, I mean, like in Joe, you're like, oh, well, Joe DiMaggio had a 56-game hitting streak. Is that impressive? You know, won the MVP, won all those World Series. You're like, you know what? And then you're like, he was married to Marilyn Monroe. Like, you're like, okay. That's when, like, for guys and for you female watchers, like, you get it. I mean, there's still posters of her. There's still people wearing T-shirts. Like, we're still talking about Marilyn Monroe all these years later. So, what an impressive, person she was.
Yeah, and Dick Clark had a great career. I mean,
he did.
Everybody would tune in. Remember on New Year's Eve, you'd always tune in to watch his balls drop. And anyway, that was a yearly tradition.
It wasn't his, by the way. It was.
The time. Yeah.
Okay.
What are you thinking? But anyway, let's see. Anything else happened this day? Nah, not of importance.
Is that it? Come on, man. Give us one more. Give us one more.
Wait a minute. No, you'll remember this one. 2013, Alex Rodriguez, better known as A-Rod, is banned for 211 games for using human growth hormones.
I'm not a fan of his, man. I mean, I know he's like I love that baseball kicked him out of the game for like 2 years, and now he's like one of their like big TV broadcasters.
Yeah.
I like guys that do it the right way.
Yeah,
I do. You know what? I mean, and without steroids, when you get an injury, it takes a while to heal. And, and when you're tired, it takes a while to get kind of revamped again. Not a big A-Rod fan. I don't like the way he did it. I don't like cheaters. I'm not for A-Rod.
Right.
So, and I know some of you guys might love him, but I mean, and look, honestly, as a broadcaster, he's not really that bad. But I'd rather hear from somebody that did it the right way.
Right.
Well, Brett, it was great to see you today, friend.
You too, my friend, and have a excellent show today on the next round. I'll tune in and check.
You better text me. Text me and tell me how I'm doing. If I stink, just let me know so I can fix it.
So you just melt into the floor there and just kind of wither away.
Yeah, and because I don't want to mess up their show. I mean,
you're not going to mess up.
It's the most. I think it's the most watched or listened to show in the state. I really think those guys do a great job. So it is an honor to be there. You know that. All right, guys, thank you for hanging out with us here on the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel. Like and subscribe. Check out Brett every day from 6 to 10 on WJLX. And he's a mogul. He's got a lot of different stations now. You better, if you're in the market for advertising, you better talk to this guy right here because he's taken over the state of Alabama. Hey, have a great day, Brett, and a great week. Roll Tide, brother. See you tomorrow.
Roll Tide.